To open up the breakout room. Put it on live stream, YouTube. Okay. All right. All right. The court is calling cause number 2013 DCM 3808. This is a hearing on a motion filed by the Attorney General's office. It's entitled a motion to modify child support. The parties before me are Mr. Mauricio Olivas and Maria Esparza, being represented by Attorney Maserati. And the AG's office is represented by Mr. Robert Ajinaga. All parties are present before me at this time. My name is Antonio Rodriguez. I am the Associate Judge for the Title 4D Court here in El Paso, Texas. We are appearing on this application that's called a Zoom application since we cannot appear in court due to the current pandemic crisis that's going on. However, the Supreme Court of the State of Texas, the Council of Judges here in El Paso have permitted us to conduct our hearings remotely, and we're doing so on this Zoom application. The record of this proceeding here today is being kept by the computer. That is the official record of the proceedings here today. As I mentioned, we are on the Zoom application, so I'll remind parties to conduct themselves accordingly. Sometimes the audio portion may not work as well as it should. So I'll ask parties not to talk over each other. Only one person talking at one time because the audio tends to give out. We're not the best audio recording system we have available. With all that being said, those are the general rules that apply in every single case. At this time, I'll ask the announcement of counsel, starting with the Attorney General's office. Mr. Aguinaga.
Robert Aguilar for the state of Texas. Ready, Your Honor.
Ms. Maserati.
Good morning, Your Honor. George Mansardi on behalf of Ms. Maria Esparza, and we are ready to proceed.
Right. Mr. Olivas, you're here representing yourself. Are you ready to proceed, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll ask whoever who's going to testify, Mrs. Esparza. Mr. Olivas, would you please raise your right hand?
Raise your right hand.
So I can swear you in. All right. Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Olivas?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Esparza?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. You may lower your hands. All right, Mr. Akinaga, I know the parties visited briefly in the breakout room. We proceeding on a hearing today, or is there any announcement on agreed orders or anything like that?
There is no agreed order. There might be an issue on if Mr. Olivas wishes to address the court on an issue. If you would like to defer to him briefly.
All right, well,
Request
this is a
anything of the
motion this is a motion to modify the previous order. Mr. Olivas, you understand that that is the purpose of the hearing here today. Do you have an issue proceeding today, sir?
Yes, sir. Just I guess according to everything here for the amount, the increased amount and everything, I was wondering what can be done. My son's currently living with me, and he's been living with me since May 27th of 2020. I don't know where, or I didn't know what we could go about, doing this. If he's been living with me, why the intent of paying child support would still be on my behalf.
Okay, all right. Great. Sounds like we're going to go ahead and have a hearing on this matter. Okay.
Okay, Judge. I'll go ahead and proceed.
Whether or not the modification is in order, and if so, what amount? Okay, so Mr. Akinaga, this is your Attorney General case. Go ahead and proceed, sir.
And we're going to go and Mr. Olivas to testify, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead. He's been sworn in. Go ahead.
All right, Mr. Olivas, please state your name.
Mauricio Emanuel Olivas.
Mr. Olivas, who are you currently employed with?
I'm employed with LaSalle Corrections.
Okay. And what is your job title there?
Job title is maintenance supervisor.
And at your employment there, how much do you get paid hourly?
$24 an hour.
Is that full-time?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Olivas, do you have any other children under 18?
No, sir.
And there's only one child before the court right now, is that correct?
Correct.
Mr. Olivas, are you providing medical or dental insurance for your child?
Dental and vision.
How much do you pay for the dental?
Let me get. Vision. Dental and vision combined is the $30 biweekly.
I'll go ahead and pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Maserati, any questions, sir?
Mr. Olivas, you testified that you are making $24 an hour, correct?
Correct.
80 hours a week, right?
Correct.
And it's your testimony that you are not working any overtime as of now, correct?
As of now, our count just went back up, not totally full. I don't know if in the upcoming months or whatever, my overtime will probably increase by 5-10 hours bi-weekly, maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I can't tell you right now what the amount would be.
So, Mr. Olivas, you understand that you're withholding the child against the court's order, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. You understand that there's a court order that gives Miss Esparza primary conservatorship of this child, correct?
The last thing that I received,
Just yes or no, sir?
No.
Okay. You've never seen an order that gives Miss Esparza custody of the child?
No, sir.
Okay. Wasn't there an order from July of 2013 that set child support, custody, visitation, and health insurance, right?
Okay, back then, yes. Lately,
good.
no, I haven't.
Okay. So you do not have a court order that allows you to keep this child, correct?
There's an affidavit of possession from the Attorney General.
I asked you a question. I said you do not have a court order that allows you to keep this child, correct?
Let me see what this says.
Do you know what a court order is, Mr. Olivas?
No, sir.
Okay. A court order is a piece of paper signed by a judge. Do you have a piece of paper signed by a judge that allows you to keep custody of this child? Yes or no?
No, sir, not from a judge.
Thank you. And you
Well,
understand?
It says court. It says court. Let me find that paper. Give me 1 second.
No, sir, you cannot. Judge, I'd like to finish with my examination.
Mr. Olivas, Mr. Maserati will be asking you questions, sir.
Yes, sir.
Already answered the question he had before.
Okay.
We're doing this question and answer, okay? Go ahead, Mr. Maserati.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Mr. Olivas, you understand that there is going to be a subsequent case involving you keeping the child against the court order, right?
No, sir.
Okay. Nothing further. Judge, pass the witness.
All right. Mr. Hinayo, any other questions for Mr. Olivas?
Not for this witness, Your Honor.
Okay, let me just follow up on a couple of questions that I have for Mr. Olivas. Mr. Olivas, are you working full-time, 40 hours a week?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no overtime?
Not in the future, sir. I'm not sure about my overtime. No.
Well, how long have you been working there, sir?
11 years, sir.
Okay. This past month, did you have any overtime?
Yes, sir, I did.
How many hours of overtime did you?
It's between 5 to 10 hours.
Okay. You get paid time and a half for your overtime?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, as far as health insurance, do you not have health insurance for your son?
No, sir. It's always been between Maria and myself that I wanted to take care of the
My question, Mr. Oliva.
No, sir, I don't.
Question is, do you have health insurance for your son at this time?
No, sir, I don't.
But you do have dental and vision, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know how your son is covered on health insurance?
I believe his mother, Mrs. Parsa, has health insurance for him.
Okay. How long has your son been living with you?
Since May 27th.
Okay, you testify you have no other children, correct?
Correct, sir.
What was the name of your employer, Mr. Olivas?
It's LaSalle Corrections.
Okay, is that here in El Paso?
No, sir, it's out of Sierra Blanca, Texas.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir. All right, thank you. Any other questions, Mr. Akinaga, for Mr. Olivas?
Not for this witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Maserati, any other questions for Mr. Olivas?
Not for this witness, Judge. I was just going to call my client very briefly to testify about the health insurance cost.
All right, we have the Attorney General finish with her case in chief, and then you can go ahead.
Yes, sir.
All
All right,
right,
I'll go ahead and
Mr.
I'll call Miss Esperanza.
All
Miss
right, go
Esperanza,
ahead. She's been
can
sworn
you
in.
please
Go
state your
ahead.
full name?
Maria Anaís Esparza.
And Miss Esperanza, you are the mother of the child?
Yes, sir.
Miss Esperanza, do you have medical insurance and dental insurance for your child?
And vision.
And how much do you pay for just medical for just your child per month?
Medical, $275 a month.
And for dental?
$30. No, $30 bi-weekly.
So $60 per month, is that correct?
$60. Yes, sir.
Okay, so for just your child, you pay $335 medical and dental
Correct.
per month?
Yes, sir.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, Mr. Maserati?
Judge, I have no questions for this witness. Mr. Aginaga stole them all.
Okay. All right, I do have one follow-up for Ms. Esparza. Ms. Esparza, tell me again how much you pay for health insurance for your son?
$275 a month.
$275. Okay. It's that they kind of broke up a little bit. I couldn't get the correct amount. And let's see. How old is your son?
14.
His birthday's coming up soon, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Any other questions for Ms. Esparza, Mr. Akinaga?
None, Your Honor.
Mr. Maserati, any questions?
No, sir. No questions.
Okay. State rest at this time?
I rest, Your Honor.
Right, Mr. Maserati?
I rest, Judge.
Okay. All right, I will take judicial notice of the last order that was entered in this case. There's been some testimony with regard to that order. The last order in this case that said child support, the present order was an order that was done in 2013, July. And that said child support, according to my notes and according to my review of the order, that said child support at $367 a month and health insurance of $220 a month. So I'll take judicial notice of that order. Mr. Akinaga, state's recommendation on this matter?
Your Honor, the state recommends that child support be modified to $691 per month and medical and dental reimbursement to Ms. Esperanza for $335 per month.
And start
Beginning,
date,
Your Honor, we'd ask that it begin March 1st.
okay. Anything else, Mr. Akinaga?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Maserati?
Nothing, Judge. With regards to Mr. Aguinaga's proposed proffer of the amounts and the start dates, we're okay with those.
Okay, all right. All right, Mr. Olivas, I'll give you an opportunity, sir, to address the court. The state has made its recommendation on the child support. Um, Tell me what your position is with regard to the modification and the amount of the child support.
I'll be 100% honest, Your Honor. I do not agree on it, and I, I mean, I have a lot of things to say, but I don't know if it would be in this court that I would be able to say everything, or it would be something separate to where I had to get an attorney and get another court date set up. I think it's very unfair. My son wants to live with me. He wants to be with me, and he's been doing so since May. And I still don't agree on all this that's going on still.
Okay. Let me ask you this question, Mr. Olivas, without getting into the merits of the subsequent case or hearings that be held in this case. Why haven't you filed anything since May? You had the child support.
Your Honor, when I did speak to Lorraine, I can't recall her name, her last name, at the Attorney General. She called me and she noted. She took down a lot of notes. She spoke to me. She called me herself. She's the one that put the hold on the child support that's now for the last, I think, 3 or 4 months. And she told me basically that it would everything that I spoke to her about, that it would be that they would get back to me with a set date for something for maybe like for custody of my son. I didn't know this was gonna continue going on with the child support matter.
Well,
The money part.
Mr. Olivas, my question remains, why haven't you done anything on your own to this custody matter resolved?
Honestly, sir, the financial means to me lately were not really available to hire an attorney or go about finding all
Have you
these
spoken
things.
to an attorney?
Mr. Claudio Flores, I believe.
We need to talk to Mr. Flores.
It was back in September, I believe.
Okay, well, Mr. Olivas, the only thing I can tell you, this motion that's before me at this time was filed back in July. So
Yes, sir.
that was noticed to you that this was going to be the purpose of today's hearing, to modify your child support.
Correct, sir.
Okay, but you were served in August, and you still haven't done anything to address the issue of the custody aspect of this case. Thank you, sir. That's all I don't have any other further questions. Mr. Olivas, I'm sorry, Mr. Akinaga, anything else, sir?
No, Judge, I just want to clarify that that it would be $275 for medical per month and $60 dollars per month for dental.
$275 and $60 for dental. Is that also vision?
Yes,
Just dental.
that wouldn't include vision, Your Honor. I believe this has vision insurance, but there's no credit for that to be included.
Okay, all right. All right, I haven't heard the testimony. Well, first of all, Mr. Maserati, anything else? I don't want to.
Oh, no, nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. All right, having heard the testimony, the court does find that there has been substantial and material changes since the last order that said child support. It's been more than 3 years. The order was done in 2013. Based on the current circumstances and testimony, court finds that the recommendation of the Attorney General is correct with regard to the modification. Child support will therefore be modified to $691 a month. Mr. Olivas to pay child support, and Ms. Esparza is to provide the health insurance for the child, as well as the dental and vision insurance for the child, as recommended by the Attorney General. Okay, those amounts as recommended. Start date would be March 1st of this year, and all payments to be made through the registry of the court. Mr. Aguinaga, do you wish to parties with regard to the submission of the order? Can you submit the order to me directly, or you want Mr. Maserati and Mr. Alarati, you want to review the order before I sign it, sir?
Yeah, Judge, if I can just review it very quickly. I know that, everybody at the Attorney General's office is very quick and they get the things done right. So I can review it, send it right back ASAP. No problem.
All right. Okay, in that case, then I understand that, sir, and I have no issue with that. Mr. Akinaga will go ahead and prepare the order as I have rendered it. Send it to the parties for their review and approval. Once everybody signs it as to form or as to substance, he will then submit the order to the court for my signature. And I will sign it, and it will be filed with the clerk's office, and copies will be sent to the parties. Just to keep record keeping on this matter, I'll set an entry of judgment for this Friday.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I think that should give everybody enough time. This Friday being the
Judge.
19th. Yes, sir?
Yes, sir. That'll be enough time.
Yes, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Entry of judgment this Friday the 19th. All right, then in that case, that concludes our hearing for today. Thank you all for your participation today and your courtesies. That will conclude our hearing. And parties are excused. Thank you all.
Very much, Your Honor.
Good, safe day out there.